Good afternoon. How many of you have seen the esteem presentation? Because with S.H.A.C, you have to present it twice before you can take any type of recommendation to the board. So how many are S.H.A.C members here today? How many have y'all?
Who's esteem by?
So it's through the Pregnancy Center of the Coastal Bend, but esteem is its own group.
Okay. So today, this afternoon, we have Christina Yee. She will be presenting on the program Esteem. And so I'm going to pass it over to her and let her introduce, give us a little bit of background on what Esteem is. And she's going to do her presentation. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to act like you guys never heard this before. We were here last year. We presented twice. We got approved, and then it never went further than that. And so we would really, really love to be serving here in Tolosa Midway. We have been teaching in 6 districts this semester, this past school year, and it's been wonderful. I just drove here from Taft. We were teaching at the high school all day, and it's just been really, really well received. Most of the kids this week have been saying, man, I wish you were here at the beginning of the year. It's a big mess right now, with a lot of regrettable decisions and things like that. Like, I wish I knew, or I wish he knew, or something like that. So it's been really good. So we are a health curriculum. Esteem is a health curriculum.
You can tap it and it'll go.
Tap this?
Yeah, tap it and it'll go to the next slide.
Okay, so I'll just briefly kind of go through the presentation, but I have 5th through high school student books, just samples. So is anybody here from the elementary campus? Or has an elementary kid? Okay, so I have intermediate, but does anybody have like a 5th grader? Oh, perfect. So I'm going to give you 5th grade, and then anybody from the middle school here. So I'll give you 6. Okay, so you're going to get 2 workbooks each. And does anybody want to look at this? This is 7. This is 8. Anyone? Or
I'll look at it.
yeah, sure. And here's and here's a 9. Here's a 9 here. And I'll give you the second workbook of 9. So some of you guys got 2 workbooks. So the first fatter book has 9 lessons. Those are the non-sensitive topics. So those are all the TEKs that we cover that we do not need parent permission for, right? So workbook A has emotional health. It has CPR. It has nutrition. It has vaping, and it has suicide awareness. All of those things, parents don't have to give permission. We teach them to all the kids. Workbook B is where we're at right now at most of the schools, and that is parent permission based. And so parents have to give us permission to go through each and every lesson. It's very specific. They have to check off yes for every single lesson in order to participate. And so that thinner book, workbook B, is going to cover pornography, trafficking, abstinence, right? Sexual health, puberty, fetal development, what else? Abuse, all of those sensitive topics, digital citizenship, all of those things. And so we're kind of in the thick of it, in the thick of the sensitive lessons right now, and it's going really, really well. So the parents have received it well, the kids have received it well. A lot of it is new information to them. So so y'all can just glance at that, and I'll just kind of run through my presentation, and feel free to ask questions. So for the district, you just have to know that esteem curriculum emphasizes risk avoidance. So we are S.H.A.C, which is a sexual risk avoidance curriculum. We do not talk about risk reduction. We are not going to pass out condoms. We're definitely not going to talk about gender identity, none of that. We're just going to talk about how we're going to prevent unhealthy relationships, unhealthy behaviors, okay? It meets all of the Texas standards, so it's going to meet every single TEKS. It's going to be aligned with every TEKS, health TEKS from 5th grade to high school. It is medically accurate, so this summer we're going through a curriculum update, and so it's actually not going to look like this. This is the 5th edition. It's going to be different because it's going to have updated medical research. It's going to have even things about nutrition like gut health, microplastics, and those kind of things. And so it's going to stay current medically. And then, of course, there's efficacy rates and data and charts and things that we can show you to show how the results are successful. And then local assistance is us. So I'm Christina from the Pregnancy Center of the Coastal Bend. We are your local assistants in South Texas. This curriculum did not exist in South Texas until this past year. So it is taught in hundreds of Texas schools, and it's actually the foundation for an international curriculum, but this is the first time we've brought it to Corpus Christi. Okay, so these are some of the alignment charts. So we're gonna go over physical health and hygiene, lots about hygiene with like junior high, right? Mental health and wellness, healthy eating, physical activity, injury and violence, alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. And then, of course, your sexual health and reproduction, which is in that workbook. This is what they look like. They're gonna look drastically different next year, but this is what you would see on the website. So they're age appropriate. So the 5th grade teens are gonna be very different from the 8th grade teens, right? And so we're not gonna be teaching them about something in 5th grade that is on the 8th grade teens. And we're gonna use very age appropriate language, right? So we're not gonna get into the specifics of STDs with 5th graders. But we're gonna be very descriptive with 9th graders, right? On those symptoms and things like that. This is an example of a table of contents. So you guys have copies so you can kind of see. This is what the website looks like. So if you were going to go on the website, parents and teachers have full access to the website. You can see every word that's going to be taught. You can get a copy for $5. And so it's very, very transparent. This is what the access page looks like, and there's a password at the end of the slideshow if you want to check it out. Oh, here it is. Health Journey 25, Health Journey 26 also works, okay? Both of those you can use. So it's esteemjourney.com. I like it because it's very transparent to parents. And so parents, there is a parent preview every year. But then we also, so we do it on Zoom sometimes. Some districts did it that way. And some districts did it at their, what's the day where they come in and get their packets and they can register and, it's at the beginning of the year. It's not meet the teacher, but.
Schedule pickup.
Yeah, something like that. And so at that, we set up a table and we talked about it and let the, parents look through it and things like that. So lots of different ways we could do that. We provide that for free. We provide training for free as well for all the teachers because out of the 14 lessons, we work. So we're going to train your staff, maybe nurses, counselors, teachers, coaches, SROs, to teach the non-sensitive part. So they can teach about nutrition and, stress management and things like that. And then we, as your local assistants, can come in and teach all of Workbook B, okay? Some schools in CCISD, the health coaches want to teach all of it. That's fine. But we can come in for assistance for some of the things that we have expertise in. So that's kind of up to every campus. So this is what, on the website, you're able to flip through every page, every lesson, just so parents feel very comfortable on what they're giving permission to have taught to their kids. And this is kind of an example of what it might look like. Okay, so this curriculum is like 30 years old, but it was, what's kind of unique about it is that teachers, teenagers, community members all kind of pitched into the curriculum. So it's very community-based, very, very focused on like parental guidance, and it's very conservative. It kind of matches the family values of our sort of South Texas culture, right? And so it not only follows the Texas health standards, but it also covers all of the Senate and House bills that are currently in place, right? So we have a part in chapter 11 about adoption, right? That wasn't really a part of the mandates before, but is now. So we're current with all of that. Okay. So these are the leader kits. This is an example of a leader kit. It has exactly what the student book looks like, except with the answers. It's got quizzes, it's got games, and it's got conversations. So the students can go home and they can ask 3 questions to their parents, and their parents can ask the student a question. I like these questions. I've used it on my high schooler. It generated some fun conversation. This is an example of a worksheet that's actually not in the book, but it's on the thumb drive. So we, in lesson 10, obviously talk about the reproductive system. That's an example of the girls one. I believe that's the 5th grade one. And then it talks about your period, ovulation, things like that. And then this is an example of a quiz that would go with it. I personally, because I'm not a classroom teacher, I don't give grades. I don't really use quizzes. I do review questions for prizes, but I've never used one of these. But these are great for the classroom teacher to use to check for understanding. So these are some of the state legislation requirements, like House Bill 1525 about human sexuality instruction. That was in 2021. 2023, they came out with the bullying prevention stuff. 2023, fentanyl and drug poisoning education. So every single thing that is mandated to be taught is in S.H.A.C. So a lot of districts, they, like maybe get a speaker for suicide prevention and then bring in a police to talk about fentanyl and things like that, which is great. We like to piggyback off of that as well. But if you just kind of want a one package deal, then we can go ahead and provide all of that instruction. So that's what a lot of schools like. This is an example of a Spanish parent permission Google form. So you could do it by Google form or by paper. Yeah, so these are just some of the examples. This is kind of about emotional health, self-esteem. This is about processed foods. So they kind of have to talk about what's ultra processed. We talked today in TAFT about sexting and pornography and the laws regarding that and the dangers of it for your brain, right? Dating, fetal development. So from the pregnancy center, we bring in our little rubber babies. We talk about all the different developmental stages. And the whole thing is based on abstinence. Like I said, it's a risk avoidance curriculum, and so we're going to base everything on abstinence. It's so much easier to prevent something than to try to cure it on the back end, right? Or try to reduce the risk. And so all we're doing is we're telling the kids that you guys are going to have choices now and in the future, and this is the information you're going to need to make informed choices. So that's kind of the guidance of it. One thing that I think the TM S.H.A.C committee liked last time, whenever we talked about it last year, was that there is a Title V grant. It's the abstinence grant that is in place right now and will be in place for the next 4 years. It started this past October that funds all of these programs. And so a school district would write an MOU. It's not an application, it's just an MOU to say that, hey, we'd like to use this grant. That gets sent to H.H.S, Health and Human Services. They contact Tanya, who wrote the curriculum. She sends the books. She provides the training. She provides the leader kits and everything. And then H.H.S handles all the grant and the funding and everything. So I believe 5 out of 6 of my schools this past year used the grant. Some schools prefer not to because the grant requires a pre and post survey, totally anonymous and voluntary, but there's a survey, which not everybody likes. And then they require that you teach the whole curriculum and take attendance and things like that. If you don't use the grant, then there's really no timelines, there's no surveys, there's no kind of requirements like that. So some schools would rather just not mess with it or just use Workbook B because they have Workbook A covered, So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. It is quite affordable if your school district decides to use it and fund it yourselves. So I went through that really fast. Are there any questions about it?
Are there
opt in and opt out
Yes.
for, like you were saying, each one?
So workbook A, we just teach straight. Now, there was one parent in one school district that said, I don't want you teaching my kid anything. So that kid, stayed out of that's fine. But for the most part, we have permission, right, as educators in a public school to teach health, the general topics. But in workbook B, they have to check, a parent has to opt in for each lesson. They literally have to check off yes for each one. So like at Taft High School, I have a student that cannot be there for lessons 12 and 13 on abuse and pornography. So on those two lessons, he's gonna go to a different class, right? But the rest, 11, 10, 11, and 14, he's participating. So you can opt into some and not all, or none, but it's not an opt-out, it's an opt-in. We cannot have a child there unless we have the express permission of the parent. Yeah. So that kind of keeps the parents sort of in control, so I think parents appreciate that.
So who's teaching these courses or this class? Like,
Right, so typically, like, we trained most of our schools the week before school started in a PD, or like a staff development or PD. And so in 8 hours, we train whoever it is that's gonna be involved. So it could be, in Mathis, it was the counselors that came to the training, and so they taught some of the lessons, I taught some of the lessons. Typically, we offer to teach the 5 sensitive lessons, but in that school district, I think I taught seven lessons. Corpus Christi, they wanted us to train all their health coaches, health teachers, and they taught all 14. So it
did
really
they
is
do it
kind
like maybe once a week they did a lesson from?
Well, in Corpus Christi, they have a health class, so they actually just do it every day and sort of spread it out. In Odom, we taught every Friday for 14 weeks. Yeah. In Mathis, we spread it out through the whole year based on like Red Ribbon Week. We did lesson 9, then we came and talked about suicide right before the holidays. It was kind of like that. So every school is going to schedule it different based on how their administration wants it taught. For this coming school year, our arrangement is that we would like to offer to teach all the sensitive lessons and train you to teach the others. But we can be flexible whenever it's your first year. Some teachers just aren't comfortable. And so we can say, hey, we can talk about dating and we can talk about suicide and fentanyl. We can pick up those lessons or come in and do a sample lesson. We did that in Taft 5th grade. We said, we'll teach the first 3 just so your teacher that's very new can feel more comfortable. So we did that. We offered a little assistance with one of the newer teachers at Carroll High School as well in Corpus. Let me teach a few lessons for you. So we're able to do that as well.
do you have to teach at all the grade levels, or you can say, you know what, we just want to use this curriculum for just high school?
Right. So in Corpus, they're only doing 9th grade.
Okay.
In Odom, we did 5th through 8th, right? In many of the school districts that are using the grant, they were like, oh, let's just do it all, right? But there are, I think Ingleside is 5th through 8th as well. So it's customizable. Yeah, you can choose. Even if you use the grant, you can you can do that. The other thing with the grant, and this was some administration's questions, was if we don't use the grant this year, can we use the grant next year? Absolutely.
What's the cost on, like, if we didn't go with the grant?
So the student books I know are $5 and the leader kits are $40. So Tanya would send you a quote. Yeah. So it's quite affordable. It's quite affordable. Yeah, and like I said, it's gonna look a little bit different with the 6th edition, but similar content. Yeah, we're still gonna cover all the teeth. We're still gonna be medically accurate, all of that. Any other questions for Becky?
Any questions?
I'll grab those workbooks.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Of course, yeah, we were happy. And those parent night information packets, those are typically what we give to the parents at the beginning of the year. But I find them to be really helpful. It talks about brain development, your prefrontal cortex. It talks about pornography sites to be careful of for your kids and to warn other kids about. So it was just helpful information to give to parents. So y'all feel free to share them, whatever extra y'all have, with your parents.
We'll share them at our next meeting.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so next we have Nancy Moreno, who is coming to us from Communities and Schools. And actually, this is part of a grant. I know Nancy since Mathis. She was actually my administrative assistant at TM at Mathis Middle School. Many years ago. Yes. So Nancy is now in Communities and Schools, and so as I believe, I'm just walking into this, but I believe that we did obtain the grant. And so we've had this service for about 2 years because she presented to me here at TM Middle School. And then I think she was assigned this year at TM High School, except there was some things that we had to work out and we had to come before the S.H.A.C committee again. So those of you that were on the S.H.A.C committee last time, she may have presented already, so this will be the second time. So Nancy, if you want to go ahead and do your presentation.
I don't have a PowerPoint, but I brought some handouts. First, the credit card director couldn't be here this afternoon, so my name's Nancy Moreno. I work with Community and Schools. I have my coworker here that works with Wesco, so Ms. Deanne Rosas. I work in Mathis ISD and I also work in Havana ISD. I've been part of Community and Schools for the past 8 years. We are also S.H.A.C certified. I do have our booklets that I did bring, so y'all can go ahead and look at. I did a mock the last time I was here. A mock lesson. Our curriculum is age appropriate for 6th grade through 12th grade. We have one booklet per grade level. It is in general. We are abstinence-based, 100% abstinence-based. The main objective of choosing the best curriculum is to empower students to delay sexual activity by providing medical accurate information on health risks, fostering healthy relationship skills, encouraging goal setting, and promoting character development. With that, we also bring awareness to the school. So we would be actually here within the school district teaching these lessons. I usually go through PE. I pick up PE and I shadow PE and I help the coaches throughout the month. And then we do have permission slips that we do have that they have to sign, parents have to sign one time for the curriculum. So it just depends if I'm going in through PE, if I'm going in through child development, if I'm going in through a health class, any elective classes. This past month I was at the high school with the Spanish elective classes. And we do positive affirmations also with the awareness. We did teen dating violence awareness, and they created a poster, and the posters were all made in Spanish. So we implement what they're doing at that time, along with our awareness, and that was beautifully done. I'm very proud that they did that. The second page that I made here is just in general outline. This is usually put on the web on the square, parent square. I know Kalalen uses this. It's in general. We are very transparent. Meeting wise, I do the same thing. I come in during open house. I actually have a smaller school that I started with, so I actually do the footwork of calling parents to make sure that they do know that I'm here doing this curriculum, and I also meet with them. If they can't meet with me, I actually do house visits as well. When I started this program back 8 years ago, I had around 7 females pregnant at the time in high school. Right now, I only have 2. So I do really feel that it actually makes an impact. I myself come from, my son was 18, about to graduate, and he became a teen dad. So I have a lot of insight in this. I really love this curriculum. I wish we had it before. He had his little baby, but he's doing wonderful. The next page that I have is an example of our permission slip. And we also have surveys, and the surveys that we have are very in general. I brought some of the surveys where it does talk about, it asks the specific questions whether the student actually talks to the parent or guardian regarding any kind of sexual activity. And around 80 to 90% usually fill in no, they have no communication. And that's one thing we really emphasize is for us to keep that communication And we also support and instill the values of the parents, guardians, whoever is raising these students, so they can go ahead and achieve and meet their goals. The next page is our outline on middle school sessions. We have 6 days that we come in and do, and we're very flexible. So if PE says you can be here on every Tuesday, we come in every Tuesday. If she says be here Monday through Thursday, we'll go ahead and do the curriculum then. Other than that, we also assist the school with some activities, or also our co-workers, which are our coordinators here that we have. We have one in middle school and one in high school with communities and schools. And this can also be put on the parent square. I know Calvin puts this out also. And the next page is our Choosing the Best journey, which is from 9th grade through 12th grade students. And this is an 8-day sessions that we have in the book. And if you look through the books, it is very in general. So we do have quizzes. We have a video that we show for every lesson. There's teenagers that are talking about these subjects, so they really can relate. And the teenagers, some of the teens, actually, we are the first contact that they will talk to us about social norms, crushes, liking someone, their feelings, and we gotta validate that. With that being said, we make sure that we stay within the curriculum of our discussion topics. When we bring awareness, we also bring puberty facts. These are open group discussions that we have with the students. Puberty, we talk about vaping. This year, we're gonna be doing fentanyl facts, STD facts, prescription drugs, anything like that. And if they have a question, I make sure to answer it within the guidelines of our booklet. I have had several dads come in to 6th grade to say, I've had, school board members come in whenever I'm doing lessons. I've had a real good rapport with our parents as well. I really feel that the students take from this, and I'm hoping that we will actually be here in TM with middle school and high school. Whenever we ask group discussions and I hand out forms, I brought a whole bunch of students fill in the blanks that they actually answer, and they actually are getting the material of what we're talking about, especially with teen pregnancy and STD. Those are our 2 main objective topics that we talk to them about risk and consequences. On vaping, we talk about Texas laws, and we do this with DAP students too. I work very closely with the counselors as well. Yet tomorrow I'm going to be doing a session with counselors at the high school. So we also help the staff out, what needs to be done. We get all our information from CDC or the American Lung Association or PBS. I have alcohol awareness, and again, we make posters. That way the students can actually create whatever we talked about and transfer on paper. And then we display them outside the hallway so everybody can see their beautiful creative work. Even high school 12th graders do this, which is great. We have You Matter. We go through a lot of definitions of what is really based, what is a relationship, the foundation of a relationship. Even though you're just friends with someone, what type of characteristics would you need to have a solid relationship with that person? Teen dating violence, the same thing. I'm very passionate about teen dating violence. I think we need this a lot at high school. I feel that we do give a lot of information for the students, because once they leave high school with a diploma in their hand, we won't be able to actually talk to them, reach to them. I'm very open, very available for all parents. We also give parents a youth resource list with local hotlines or where they can turn to for help as well. So we bring all this information to our 6th graders through 12th graders. Again, I really love this program. I think that if this program was around a lot more, per se, before my son actually, had his teen baby as a teenager, I think it would have impacted him more. Do y'all have any questions or concerns? And also, this program is absolutely 100% free. So I actually go from Cal Allen 1 month, and then I go to middle school, high school, Mathis. We also team teach when we need to. So I've had groups of like 70 in the cafeteria, and we have our PowerPoint up, and we have our books out, and we get this done. So it
That
just
that was
depends.
a question that I
Yes.
had. So is it mainly large groups that you meet with, or is it in a
Depends,
classroom?
it depends. I've had as small groups as 8 students only. Um, DAP had only 8
Yeah,
students, so I
yeah,
went ahead and went in and DAP, I
Yeah.
got permission. And this year, they are actually putting our consent forms within the registration for 6th grade and 8th grade. That really does help. Many years ago, when I was working with Ms. Arias and Mr. Keenan came in, our principal, I actually mailed out all this information to our parents, and then I followed up with a phone call as they were coming in. So I do that.
Is this like a year-long?
Yes, ma'am.
Program, or is it just like 1 month, or you?
I try to reach as many students as I can. So if I did not get all of the PE classes, I'll come in the following month, so I can go ahead and have 100% attendance. That's what I do. And like I said, it depends on the teachers. If they want me to come in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Monday through Thursday, only on Fridays, we do that.
Is there certain classes like during?
Yes,
health, or-
I go in through PE, through health, or any elective classes, child development classes. Like I said, I did Spanish elective classes as well. After school, 21st century, I've been there many times. 21st century kiddos come in, I get that parent permission, and I stay after school, and I present this
We'll
material.
just have to find out. I forgot the logistics. They just told me real quickly that we had the grant. We've had it for how long? I believe for about a year or 2.
Yes.
We've had this grant and this resource available, but it had to go before S.H.A.C, correct? This is the second time that
Yes.
you all are presenting.
So I guess my question would be for you two, like, are you asking us to consider one or the other in conjunction with each other? What is y'all's ask of us as far as what we've seen today?
I think we'll have a discussion after that, and I think there's some, you could use other.
We got to figure out the logistics of the grant as well and get with communities and schools. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it expires maybe in 2027, but I can't remember if it was October or November. So I just got to get with the logistics, and then we can go from there and have a discussion.
One's better for one, just 9th graders.
Right.
Well, and I'm wondering, we must not know that either, because I've seen both presentations multiple times. Set it on both, so I don't know that we were, or, and we may have asked the question at that time too, is it one or the other, is it in conjunction with each other?
Nancy and I have been at many S.H.A.C meetings
Yes,
together.
we have.
We
And
are
as a matter
in
of fact-
multiple districts together.
Together.
And as Mathis has both.
Right, we support each other. We're not in competition in any way.
Good, good, good. Well,
I
We
would
have
say-
different curriculums.
Yeah. So they're gonna cover different things, but I think this is a wonderful curriculum. It's very digestible. This is the first time I see the workbook. But what I was gonna say is, and I think Nancy and I would both agree, is both of our programs are through Ascend. We're a sexual risk avoidance program. I want you guys to just be very careful when groups come in and they're presenting what is called comprehensive health education or sexual risk reduction. So they're going to be teaching a very, very different, just agenda. So just be very careful. I'm not gonna tell you who or what, but I think y'all have good judgment, so.
So with those
It's a hard no.
with you two being at different school districts working together, how did that work? I'm just curious, like at Mathis, was it
So,
like,
yeah,
did you do middle school and she did high school, or how did that?
I do 6th grade through 12th grade. So I come in and I pick up PE, I pick up art, classes, and I do them myself. I make sure that the professors are there. I get a group coming into the cafeteria or the library, and I come and I present the material. We did the same thing during Spanish. She came in and we teach them Spanish and awareness, and they did their project. And I like doing that because it teaches them leadership skills. For the past 8 years, I've also done S.H.A.C for seniors, which I actually, I get a group of students that are within the high risk, and I leadership skills, they come, they decorate a box, they make phone calls, they make announcements. And we got a group going to the nursing home. We did 3 Christmas carols that we donated, puzzles, blankets, whatever, giving back to the community. We also are the bridge of bringing somebody else in if you need somebody else to present, we can do that as well.
But I think your question, because I have the same one, so in the districts that you guys are both in together,
Together,
how,
yes.
how is that
work out?
working in the districts that y'all are both in?
Yes.
Well, the counselors are doing their class, your classes, your curriculum, correct? The
But was it like
I'm actually
specifically, was yours specifically like at high school and Nancy's was just middle school?
No, we were at both campuses.
Both,
Yeah.
okay.
So I taught, like, next week I'll teach lesson 12 on abuse in math is junior high, 6th, 7th, and 8th. But I think, because we are there at the same, parent night and everything like that. Did you say that you do after school things in
I do.
Memphis as well?
I
So
do.
I don't do after school.
21st
things.
century, they've asked me to come,
Yeah.
and the kiddos stay after school.
And we actually applied for a grant for 21st. So we're
Right,
waiting on those results, so that may be something.
And I
we
get
could
quite a
look
bit of
at.
students that do stay after school.
Yeah.
right. So Mathis was able to use that grant for her
Mm-hmm.
and the HHS grant with me. And so they were able to get that fully funded.
Okay.
So that's a consideration, and we both appreciate that this is covering, we're not going to nursing home. You know what I mean? Like, we're
Yeah.
doing 2 separate things,
Right.
but supporting the same thing.
Right.
And I promise you, every
It's kind
district
of
can,
nice. Right.
can
Another layer,
benefit from, yeah, we're just piggybacking
Yeah.
off of each other.
That's what it's really about, bringing the education to the students. So empowering them to know more before they make those decisions.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
I did want to add though, so like, in some districts, they have a curriculum or they have a program or they have it as part of they already have like a book, like Good Heart, whatever it is. So we as a pregnancy center would like you to know that we're here for any kind of support. If you just want us to come in and talk about our diaper parenting program, we can do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, so just kind of use us as a resource. All of our services are free, just like Miss Marina's. And we just want to support what y'all are doing with together. So thank you so much for letting us be here.
Thank you. Oh, yes, Thank you. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, thanks to after a while. I miss you. Huh?
You'll ask if I can
This will be my school, like this will be the school that I'll be, so I'll be my search story until then, so. Yes, and what's your name? Vega. Priscilla Vega. At the high school. Oh, yeah, I'll be in the high school too. Good meeting you. I'm like, I'm a little crazy. 22 years of CPS. I said, only people are good CPS.
And I saw it.
Yeah, so you fit right in, right?
It works just as well.
I know. All right,
Thank you,
thanks.
Nancy.
Good seeing you. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know that this one's been approved before. I haven't seen this one, but I think it was just because I wasn't available to go to that one, but I remember the name.
Like, so when she says it was more like, she wasn't reaching out to me. It's like, right, no, that's a her note. That's
Yeah.
like not where we
Not
understand.
necessarily,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
yeah. But I've been here for a while. So that
was the other really
This one, this one I've seen and the question I think the confusion comes in is because the material is similar.
It's
the lessons are
similar,
Is it, are we choosing one or the other?
Right.
Or then who do we target so, you know, I asked that because I know you said we already had the grant, because obviously that was.
We did, right? You said it was approved, so you were here on the.
It was approved.
But I
Yes.
wouldn't want to not
But
consider.
I think that
her
they shut it down
because
because it
this
became an
one
applicant
haven't
issue,
used
and
any.
I feel like they.
I don't know the
I mean,
logistics, so I
it's-
just know and pay that
Yeah.
pocket just for one grade.
Well, even if you tap into her for, like she said, was like, if she came to a parent night or something like that, to help you with your parent involvement, to say, hey, this is a resource that we have for you.
Or even if we did like monthly meetings where she could come and do, like a monthly evening where she could come and do parent education on
Yes.
like this. Here's what we have, or whatever, this is what you can teach your child, that kind of stuff. That would be something that, then you don't have to have permission slips because the parents come, you know what I mean? So,
Like a parent-student talk.
yeah, like, and you could do it monthly or every other month or whatever, and have her come out and do that.
I think our parents, we have a lot of really good parents that talk to their kids, but we have a lot of parents that don't know when to have these talks.
Yeah.
Because it's, not every kid is ready for it at the same time.
Right.
The kids are all in different places socially, developmentally. And I think it would be good if we did a monthly meeting and said, these are the topics we're going to discuss, bring your child.
Maybe tied to attendance.
But also,
What is the
so
requirement?
the other thing that might get some of our parents here is that the pregnancy center often offers like diapers and things like that, so you can say, we can connect you with some of the resources that they offer or whatever, and she can, part of her presentation can be like, these are the resources we offer. They offer STI testing, STDs testing, they offer diapers, and clothing and stuff, and so that might get some of our younger parents involved because they need those resources, and so.
And maybe
we're
not
more
just
than
for their children in
Right,
school,
but the parents.
but like the ones that go to Elevate, like 16 to 24. Like what about our kids that just graduated that have kids, or just, you know, they're the brothers and sisters of our kids that are right now in school.
So on this one, I'm curious, Louis, what, is this like, this is the only workbook, so is this over the year, or we get to decide, like, is this, we're gonna cover
I think
this
she
book
talked like
in 2
they come-
weeks?
I don't think it's 2 weeks, but I think it's like 14 weeks or whatever. I think it was like over
Oh,
time.
spread out
Yeah.
over time, okay.
And we would be sharing, with this one, we're sharing them with West Ozo, so she's gonna be, the one I knew, she said she does West Ozo and she'd be doing TM, so she does, so it's not like she's gonna be here all the time. I think it's more like.
Couple of
part-time.
days.
Yeah.
Well, it might be like, I think I remember
Yeah.
talking about it like, we were thinking about it being in health class on Fridays.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times it's a coach that teaches health and they.
Right.
Well, that
might
middle
be
school PE would be
But we
great.
could have-
Yeah.
Because they don't do anything, I'm like, yeah.
Well, actually, all our PE classes.
For sure, you went to high school, it would be really helpful.
They were supposed, the YWCA, they come in, and they're
That's
supposed
females.
for
That's
females,
females, and that's
yes,
the intermediate, isn't it?
that's here.
No, it's in
To do what?
sixth grade.
They come in and they're supposed to
It's an
mentor the
empowerment.
girls, and they do, different, activities with the kids, leadership. I don't know.
Yeah, she was at, she come to the shack, the one that you
She did?
talked about, the
Okay.
bike and
This,
sitting.
all I know is that Mr. Van Matry said this is YWCA, and this
Because
is what we're
she
doing.
was the one that called me, said, well, they always call the social worker, so then I would get them on the agenda.
I like them, they were
Yeah,
so
We
good.
sit in the-
Yeah. I thought it was at the intermediate, and I was there at the middle school.
They
Yeah.
come,
Reese did, well, it was at the intermediate.
Okay,
and I
then.
know Reese did it last year, sixth grade, and girls pre-athletic.
Yeah, then I think they did fifth.
And they only do it for girls? It's YWMCA?
YWCA. They come once a week, and they work with the girls in PE. All day, they're here all day. They became like, they were part of our staff, yeah. Etiquette.
So then what's next, what's our next step?
So this
I
is
can't
kind
feel
of
like
like.
I didn't make it easy, and that's all.
Do you have any recommendations, or does anyone make a recommendation?
Well, one of the things that I know here that we've had issues with at the middle school is the cyber type
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Follow up.
The vaping too. I was
Yeah.
like, once they said vaping, I was like, I mean, been a victim of cyberbullying. Yes.
I'm not against both of them, or whatever, I think it's just a matter of figuring out how we're gonna fit them into the curriculum. I think PE is a great place for both of them to be at, right? Like, this Friday they come, and then this Friday they come, and so it's all month or whatever, but they flip-flop Fridays or whatever, because all of our PE classes, and it can even be athletic, it can be kind of.
You can help, like you said, every Friday.
Yes, I am.
But when it's once a week, it's not too much for the kids. And they do a little assignment, they talk a little bit, and our kids just want to talk.
They do.
And I don't think they always talk at home, so I like the idea of having meetings to sit with parent and student. But I think the parents that are gonna come are already talking to their kids. And they might find flaws with what's presented, because everybody's very particular about their kids when they do talk to their kids. It's the people that don't have those conversations, that need them and won't get them, or they don't know how to even talk, which is nice for people who don't know how to start that conversation. It's a conversation starter, but those aren't gonna be the ones that come.
They're not.
They probably got
Okay,
a lot of.
What if we go back to the campuses and kind of get principals' input, kind of, and go, and then let's come
Share
back.
it with the
Because
principals.
we've gotta, yeah, we've also gotta go to Mr. Van Matry and everybody over there, and tell them this is what we
The
did,
only thing I
and
would
then we
say,
go from there.
the only thing I would say is this is what happened at the end of last year. We saw these presentations at the
I
end of
know.
last
I
year.
think
So
we
we're
had
gonna-
it out. I think this is, we're gonna make a decision.
Okay, I just want to be like, let's table it till next
No,
year.
no, I want your input from your, and then we come back and have a conversation. We're gonna have to have 3 times, so I think we're good to go.
I think we definitely need it.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement that
There's
we
need.
want it.
There's
We just need to talk to the principals that.
Do we have, yes, what's it gonna look like? Is it in PE? Is it in art? Like she said, is it Spanish?
I think we could all agree, it sounds like they are successful at doing it in PE. And I think it would work with ours, like she said, it every other week.
Like,
The other
what about
person.
the kids that aren't? Because they're still gonna be.
That's okay, but
Just
we
get as many
can
people
start
as we can.
with that.
Right.
And then, I
Those
mean,
are kids that really need
you
it.
can't
Maybe
eat
not.
the whole elephant, and I think our parents are, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think our parents, I kind of want to feel it out, like, see how it goes, because, I think,
we try to give them the information and the law.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that we had at the high school the 1 year, and they all get to play next because they have a technical to do with the playoff game and had nothing to do with it not being cold, like people did.
Oh, you're talking about our health fairs, or
Yeah,
whatever
so
we
there
had.
was a lot of
We had 3
information.
families show up, you were one of them.
Yes.
So,
speaking to the high school, I think we need to implement something for the kids. We just need to, let's just do the kids, let's do it through PE. And I think we start there. We can do health and PE.
I think so too.
We can talk to them, but having said that, if you think about, what's going on with our high school right now, we're doing the concurrent stuff with health. That may not work to throw this in
Right,
there.
because I'm trying to schedule that.
So we're trying to do the concurrent stuff.
And
I don't think we wanna mess with-
That's the conversations we need to have. to
Yes,
make it work.
I
Because
do.
You're right, you got health.
For the
you got-
high school,
Uh-huh. and
yeah,
then you
because
got
it's
this
high
later.
school health and college health.
And then this
We
later,
can't add this in the mix. So I say for the high school, I would like to say, I could be comfortable, and I think Dave would be comfortable with PE, alternating weeks, both groups. That's what I would like for high school.
that's all I need for y'all to do is come up with how we're gonna.
but so how do we reach the kids though that aren't in
We don't, not right now,
the first year?
not right now. We try it
Do the
out,
best
we
we can.
implement it through the PE classes, and then we can talk about how, through that process, we can maybe say, hey, in addition, we're gonna do a parent night. Let's see how that goes. Hey, we're gonna do, a teen talk. We're gonna do it during lunch, and then we can pull kids in.
And after school, we have lots of kids.
But right now, I think we need to focus
Baby
on that.
steps, small.
And then we need to add, as we get to know these people, they're gonna be on our campus every other week. So we can say, hey, would you be available for counselors to lead that? All the requirements that the counselors have, this is a great resource.
It is.
Like, so now you put together this lady talking to the 9th graders. And then next month, they talk to the 10th graders. But now we'll have resources that are visiting the school. It'll make it easy to make those processes happen. And it'll be a resource that we can talk to the counselors about. Have you done X, Y, and Z? Because we need the cyberbullying talk. We need the cyber sexting,
violence,
the dating violence, all of that.
with AI.
Yes.
Okay, I love you guys all, but I have to.
No, but that's perfect, so go back to your campuses, present it, and then we'll come back and make a decision.
Even
I
after
feel like
like,
I would still offer something parent night or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
If
that's
they
email
come
or
in.
you want to do it.
we'll talk about.
I think I would like to do it. And I think that we could tie it to recovering
I was
attendance,
gonna ask.
truancy. We need to pull some other programs,
Discipline.
pull some other programs into it. Maybe they get a day or two out of DAEP early if they come with their parents and have a participation night. Maybe they bring their whole family and that parent gets some information and talks to their kids.
Would even like to have it, we did this in our previous district, when it was, suicide and mental health, but we actually had like guest speakers in the afternoon, but the parents had to sign up, so they would get the link to join our webinar. But even having that at home, you know, I mean, sometimes parents, you know, they have all their kids, you know, just different things, but if we can also provide it through that means of communication, I think we could also get more parents, you know, we just say, if you're interested, give us your email, we will send you the link at 7:00, you know, we're going to present, and it would be like it would be a series. And then we, at the very end, once the speaker was done talking, the parents would stay on the line, and it would be questions, and they would go in and they would ask questions, and they would have a one-on-one.
I think that, I think that would be doable. We just gotta make sure like they are set up
That's
to
the
do that,
same,
right?
yes.
But I think that comes with, once they're on our campus, then we reach out, because we have needs. We have all these requirements that we have to provide, and it's easier if they're right there and we can go, hey, are you available next month? We need this and this.
I
and
think you're right.
Or you're- when they're already-
Our
Yeah.
discipline reports, hey, the kids need
Let's just get them in.
a lesson. We need to
And once
communicate
the kids start getting familiar with them and talking to them, we're gonna see whether it's beneficial or whether it's not. Because
reduction in.
it's gonna be really important, or just participation.
Yes.
It's gonna be really telling, and a lot of these things are their personal relationships that they build with the kids. If it's somebody who's just gonna be real flat and dry and they're not gonna buy in and they're not gonna answer their questions, then they're not gonna come to a meeting, they're not gonna bring their parents, they're not gonna do that thing. But we can tie it into some of the truancy, some of the discipline, some of the need, like kids that have anxiety and that kind of thing. We can say, hey, you know, we want you and your mom to come to this.
So I think next steps, we'll just start like a Google sheet or something, and then we'll put on there, okay, what's your proposal? What days are we gonna present? And then put all the other programs that you'd like to attach it to. Let's start with something simple. And then give us that information from the campuses. You two, after collaborating and talking to everybody and coming up with a plan, share it with us. And then we can go to Mr. Van Matry and say, okay, we set up the meeting. This is what the campuses are proposing. Let's go from there.
I'm confident that we're gonna want every other week,
I like.
both programs
Yes.
in PE.
I'm okay.
I think more than that at the high school is too much with
Oh, yeah.
with the concurrent classes and pulling kids out. I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like if we see kids with a need, we can sign them up for Friday talks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna pull you out of X, Y, or Z, but I'm not gonna pull a kid out of English.
Right.
Out of math, right? So then we can find ways to add kids to just the Friday talk.
Right.
And say, you need this lesson, like
So
you do.
just start a proposal, like just get us like a one-page proposal, share it with us, and that way we can go to Mr. Van Matry. If you want a copy of these, we'll have them, like if you want to show the principal, like, hey, this is what they're proposing. I think Connie was with me when we did the presentation in this initially, but the books are here. If y'all want to use them, show them, this is what's gonna be presented, get their take on it, and then we'll go from there.
You think about putting feedback on our website?
No, I think so.
Do you think what you do about, like, just put the proposal on the website, you know how we do with our instructional material?
Let's get with the SBM and see if.
I think I think it would be great,
Just
but I think
the
it
idea.
might, out of context, they're gonna be like panic mode, like, what are you gonna be teaching? it might be too political at this point.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are looking for philosophy.
But the good
They
thing
read
is it's
too much
optional.
into it.
If they don't, then it's an option, so they
What
would
did she
have
say?
to-
They sent out something like this on, she said Parent Square, so one of these
I
flyers
like-
on Parent Square.
I like this one, but those are the two different things, right?
Yeah.
I like this one, where was it?
I mean, even just the second one, choosing the
Well,
best.
actually, it's gonna
No, I
go
think
on
it was
the
this
section,
one.
it's like when
I like
they
this
upload
one.
the information, we might just put it in the website, you know.
Nobody's gonna watch it.
Exactly, we're not announcing it,
I don't know how political it's gonna be.
but it's gonna be
They
there.
have to know the-
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna-
I like that there's one on vaping.
That's what I like too.
I think that's where our parents are struggling a little bit, to have to talk to their kids about vaping. The fentanyl, I think we need that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Teen
so
dating violence.
The digital citizenship is.
Oh,
That one's,
yeah.
that one's the biggest one.
Yeah.
They don't even know that what they're doing is illegal, like, I don't, you know, anything like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the parents have struggle with that is because they're not understanding.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
is out in the world, this is
Yeah,
not.
this is out.
I think that we're dealing with, so I, just to put it out there, one of the biggest things that we're gonna start seeing and that we are already seeing are, exposure to pornography
Oh, yeah.
and addiction to pornography. At this young an age, it sounds a little ridiculous, but we have a lot of kids addicted to pornography. And they,
Because it's easily accessible, so now it's so easy. that
we're
they just-
starting to see some kids act out and do things that they are seeing.
Mhm.
So there's some weird sexual things that are happening, and because they're discipline records, we're not talking about it. Because I can't talk to you about somebody's
Specific
discipline
records.
records. But there are some very strange behaviors that have happened in the past 4 years that I'm just like, this is so bizarre, and it's acting things out. And very sensitive material happening to these kids or not
Things they're
happening
exposed to.
because they're watching so much porn. And they are doing things and then coming to us with this is happening to me. And they don't even know what they're talking about. Because it's like, that did not happen to you. They have a misconception of what they're watching. There's a disconnect from what they're watching to what they're doing. And it's now like Title IX things all over the place. And they don't understand that either, right? And the parents don't either. And they're like, they're just seeing too much. And now they're acting out.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are you doing?
Yep.
What am I seeing on video? What is it? What did I just watch? Some strange things that I can't really even
No,
talk
I would
about.
agree with you.
But like, I'm like, well, where are you even getting that from? Where did you see that? But they're seeing it on videos. They're not seeing their parents doing these things.
Because,
Those are weird things.
Anybody can get it, they just log on, that's it.
Well, they don't know, and they don't know that it's not, that it's real or not. That it's-
Right.
Yes.
So they don't even know that that's not
Yeah. Some strange stuff, but it's scary. When I was just talking about it, my cousin was like, we're little, the most we saw is National Geographic, or the
Change, yeah.
you might see something.
Yeah.
Flash real quick.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Times
all
have
you,
changed.
that's all you saw.
Change is everywhere. now.
But now they're so exposed, and I don't think the parents even know the difference between when they were kids and what their kids are seeing. They're like, it's just a phone, it's not a big deal.
No.
But they're seeing so much stuff, and it's scary how much they know, but they don't really know. Like they're talking about, they're talking about insects, they're talking about some crazy stuff, and you're like, well, I don't think you get what you just said, but.
Yeah.
You know, don't has nothing to do like, yes, they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
hear all the time, like, my child doesn't even know what that is. I'm like, well, they don't know all of it, but they know what they've seen.
They are here about it.
They hear, and then they put lyrics like song lyrics with the video, and they think that
Yeah.
there's a disconnect.
The
That's
TikTok,
enough saying
yeah.
for music today, it's like,
But it's all together one picture of these kids' lives that we're really not connecting to, we're not talking about, we're not addressing, and the parents aren't either.
Yeah.
No, they're left to their own devices, and then they go get drunk and high and just craziness. Like, 'cause I know y'all have heard some of this stuff, like with the parties that are going on, parents supplying alcohol and to the kids, and they're going out to these fields, like one of the fields is out there, past Violet on where the bank is, Raleigh. Okay, right back in that area is one of those fields where they're having parties and they're getting drunk and high and doing things in the back of vehicles. And then they come to school and they're like, I was raped, or this happened to me, and like a lot of stuff going on, and their parents like, yeah. Well, and how do we address all these things that are happening off campus?
Yeah, that makes it difficult for us.
Yeah. And how do we keep kids safe? And then they don't want to come to school. Yeah. And we report it and we do all these things, but how do we keep kids safe? This is a lot of, I think, what's happening with our attendants is that they are going and having these social interactions that are going too far and too much, and we're not aware because it's not happening at school. It's all happening on their phones, and they don't want to walk into that class, and they're standing there in the hallway like, no, I can't get them to class, and I'm like, what's going on? Nothing, I don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So there's so much going on with these kids that I think we're really missing. And I think we do need this, and maybe at least start it without the parent involvement, because that's a whole other element of getting the parent and the kids in the same space and feeling comfortable to say something.
well, like she said, those kids were like, dang, I wish we could have this conversation earlier.
Yeah.
So the sooner we get it started, the sooner we're at least trying.
Yeah, and we can start with the PE, and I know we'll be missing a lot of athletic stuff, but when they're off season, we might be able to put it in there.
I would for that.
We might be able to put in,
There's a lot of bullshit that goes on in the locker room.
if they're vaping, well, you know what, if we catch one vape,
One vape is smoking 2 packs of cigarettes.
Well, they don't know that.
I mean, like, trying to look at the
Yeah.
statistics, and they're like, they're not even realizing this.
We got a sweater.
they don't realize it, but they also don't care. They're getting to the point where they're.
Parents that are not educated, it's like, I'm like,
Right.
Well, they're bringing a lot of them from their vapes.
So then it's just like a family.
it's a family thing.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I smoked when I was 18, so
Yeah.
he can smoke, but it's not the same, it's not the same stuff. But even if it is, I mean, like, they are vaping, the parents are vaping, and the kids are taking their parents' vapes. And one of the main concerns when they come see us sometimes is like, well, can I have it back? No, you can't have it back.
They're addicted, yeah.
You can't have it back.
I know,
Well, he
you
stole it
can.
from my,
No, too bad I have to turn it in for evidence. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, oh, I don't have it.
I'm like, we're here about your kid going to jail.
But you want your vape back. Come on now.
They're expensive.
I know there was a health presentation, but my big thing, and I think our behavior here would decrease if we did not have so much caffeine.
Oh,
These kids are
yes.
drinking 3
Alani's
over 4
Monster.
liters.
that little girl that.
Alani,
Yeah.
Did she
I
die?
actually had a friend whose son died from ADHD medicine and Monster.
Since
And they
when were
interrupted.
they
This was in August,
able to buy them in the
October,
cafeteria?
sorry, October. This past year, I mean, you
They're
think about
buying
that.
it in the cafeteria.
They're not
The energy
getting it.
drinks? Yes.
That was
Yes,
all he
ma'am.
was drinking,
Oh,
you know,
really?
rabbit versus
But they're
water.
sugar-free.
And
Like
he had
in
ADHD
the-
medicine.
In the cafeteria part?
That's
Oh.
an
Dash.
education.
This is
That's
exactly
like-
what
that's
S.H.A.C should be addressing.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, that is my understanding from Avery, yes, they are allowed, they are able.
I will
to
go
buy
look
them.
at that, but this is where we address it right here, Shaq, we should bring that to,
Even though it's Alani, but-
Can we bring that to
You did right now, so I think, I think, because I went around the cafeteria and said, you know how many milligrams of caffeine? And they're reading, and
You know
it's
what?
160, 200. They're just, and they're not drinking this one, they're just having.
All day.
Oh, okay.
all day.
Well, they're addicted to those
Yes.
too. I mean, and they,
Lonnie, Celsius, Monsters.
I think it started with,
Red Bulls.
it started with Starbucks. It started with the coffee and then the iced coffee and then the little sprinkles and whatever. And now they get coffee in the morning and then now they want it.
Yes.
They want, then it went to the Red Bulls and the, what is it, Monsters.
Monster,
Yeah.
Celsius.
And now it's pretty little,
Alani, yeah, little
Alani,
drinks.
it looks like harmless, but we should not be able to get.
No.
I did not realize we were getting those because the cafeteria is so expensive, I'll bring my own.
I know.
Let me send an email to Patrick because
It's
that,
Monsters, Avery said.
What?
Sugar-free Monsters.
Yes.
Wow.
I did not
Well, and I
realize.
was, I
We
was
can't
shocked.
sell strawberry milk because, but
But
you
you
can
know-
sell strawberry
But
milk.
we can sell
So
Monster.
we can sell Monster.
Well, and I wondered, because she, I do not let her buy them. But then I also noticed that she had like a cherry Coke Zero, like in a 20-ounce bottle. Like, where the hell did you get that? I didn't think there was a vending machine bottle at the cafeteria.
Yeah, they do
Sugar-free.
have zeros.
So, I'm okay
Yeah,
with
that's
zero. But then when she started saying, I'm like, Monster, oh, I didn't think what I let you drink those. Oh, well, I bought it for so-and-so.
I know.
But now she's afraid because, but she's gullible enough, and then it does scare her that now she's just all her friends don't do that, somebody died, but she is not.
Well, you know, when they sell it in the cafeteria, it sends a message because
Oh, you can see what they're buying.
it's really, it's like, getting hold of something in church. If you go to church and they give you something, you're like, well, it's okay, they give it to us at church.
Yes.
Right? It kind of has the same effect to me.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like,
Okay,
well, they
it's
offer it in the
It's
cafeteria.
okay.
It must be okay.
If they had, if, and so I
Don't
actually
put two
know,
carbs on the same tray.
because all of a sudden my school bucks is low, and I'm like,
I wonder how much they are. Do you know how much they are?
she had
Not that I care, not that it matters.
$4,
you know.
but still, sure.
That's, well, I
She
just
hasn't
wonder
done
what
it.
kind of fight are we gonna
She
get?
hasn't- she hasn't done it.
Right, instead of moneymaker.
I would say
That might
they
be.
shouldn't even be
It
able
should
to
not
get
even
that.
be,
That's, somebody
Right.
died, like, we're gonna just
Uh-huh.
offer that, like,
like, what?
and we're
But it's
mostly worried about the
sugar-free.
sugar with
I know,
those.
sugar-free.
Like, it's not the sugar. It's gonna.
Anyways, I didn't know, I assumed that you guys knew that, but,
No,
yeah.
you know, we don't really go through there,
No, we're just
with the
monitoring kids,
magnifier.
yeah.
Like, I know they sell, the little pudding cups for Earth Day today, that, the dirt cups.
Uh-huh.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's Earth Day, but that, because they brought them out, I didn't really go in and see.
Yeah,
that.
Oh, but that's not, and you're not even thinking.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not
I said,
even-
like, I'll get an alert.
It's not
that
every
says, hey,
day,
my
it's the
school bucks
truth.
account is low, and I'm like, Avery, not like, you take your lunch every day, like, why are you swiping like every day for the last 13 days?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I got myself a sugar-free Monster. A Monster.
Oh.
I don't let you
Yeah.
drink those.
That's interesting. I know.
I was
I'm
very
really
surprised.
shocked to hear that. But we'll address it. All right, guys.
Great meeting.
Great meeting. We will work on a proposal and
Yeah, you'll submit the
we'll talk to Mr. Elementary, we'll get with our principals,
Let's go from there.
and we'll hopefully get something.
If you need to look at the resources, take them with you. If you need to, with your
This would
principals,
be
I
good
don't know.
for
That's up to
teaching
you.
training, yeah, for the very
We have
beginning.
sample ones here, if you want
One
some
of
of
our-
ours.
Yeah. It's like